Well, hello, and welcome to Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. We paint all sorts of stuff, mainly small things, miniatures and smaller statuettes and stuff like that. But occasionally we paint other things. I have a studio. We're in it right now, and this is my little vlog, I guess is what you call these. I've been painting for most of my life, off and on. I was a chef before I started doing this. I'm like semi-retired and not exactly thrilled about it. So I'm trying to keep myself busy. And this is one of the things that I do to keep myself busy. Because if I don't, I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to do something not productive. And so I'd rather do something productive, right? So we have this lovely Malenia. We're going to start getting parts of her painted up here. There's so much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? Oh wait, that's a song. So we're gonna start off with her legs, and then we're gonna do this part here. That way we can get this stuff glued together, and we can start kind of like getting her set up and put all together and so on and so forth. Kind of nice to build her from the bottom up. We'll do the base at the end though, but we'll be able to. I'm trying to get her to where we can pick her up and down and move her around and that sort of thing. That way we can take good pictures of her and show those in our little thumbnails. I'm getting better with the terminology and in all the lingo, if you will. It just takes time, and unfortunately, I think the older you get, the longer it takes. It's just kind of part of that, how that goes, I suppose. So let's find something cool to listen to and get started. I've almost got something to go listen to as soon as it lets us listen to it. They love to have their ads on everything nowadays, especially if it's streaming. I really should think about getting something that lets us just put in our own stuff, but whatever. One step at a time. So I'm pretty sure her armor is made out of the same stuff that everything else is, so I'm going to assume it's a bronze. Now we could throw a black paint on here prior to this, but I think we're going to be okay. This gray primer seems to work pretty well. We're going to grunge it up a lot, so it'll get that darkness to it. Now this is a golden acrylic. Is the company that makes this. It's a lot thicker than typical hobby paint, so be prepared to use a lot of water as you go. Keep your brush nice and wet, but it'll go on pretty smooth, and you're probably only going to need like one coat of it because it's not watered down. So the pigment is very, very strong, which is, in my opinion, that's what you want. Nice, strong pigment. Compared to our last piece, this one's going to be a whole lot faster. Not quite as much of that trim work. Malekith had a lot of trim to paint. This chica likes to stay in the same colors. So that does make things a little bit easier for us on the paint side of things. And building this one wasn't too much of a challenge. Just a few little tricks we had to pull out to get it to come together right. You always expect a little bit of tricks and tomfoolery when putting together models. It's just kind of part of the game. I'm wondering if that's supposed to be her leg and that's supposed to be the edge of the armor. Very hard to tell. It's going to be way up in there, in her skirt, so we've always got time to change it. The other one's a whole lot easier to tell because it's her. You can see how it's corroded or something. It's really hard to tell. It's such a strange design team. They do such cool work, but it's definitely a little bit odd. And you'd have to be. That's what makes it cool. Is it's not like anything else. It's very different. And here are the trailer for the DLC recently dropped for this game. Here's DLC. Looks amazing. I'm not a big player of this particular game, but I do love the look of it. And it looks pretty good. And I like their little lore. Their lore is fun. They've got a lot of, it's very interesting ideas. So much bronze. It makes sense though for they're gonna match. When it's all said and done, you'll be able to look at the different pieces. At least the ones that I painted, and they're all gonna match because they have similar colors. That does look more like a thigh piece than metal. Or maybe coming back. Changing that one. You definitely got the time and the space. Just not worried about it. Moving it around really helps us get a chance to kind of get everything painted and make sure we're getting behind everything. That way when we attach it, it's all done. And you know it's all done. So much easier when it's like a solid color like that. I really do like the idea of making that part of her thigh though. It's so much, when the things are so monochromatic, it kind of bothers me. So anyway, we can add a change. She's gonna be happy for me. It's C-3PO. Bronze, bronze, bronze. So much bronze. Really does kind of look like a C-3PO leg. It's that gold. It's that kind of polished metal look. Alright. There's one leg. I think I am gonna paint this to be flesh. Alright, so that's our first coat. We'll let that set up and then we'll deal with it again later. It's going to sit right in there. Yeah, that'll look good. That'll be fun. Okay. Leg number 2. Now this is a little different. This has got that strange whatever is going on with her arm. It's like the same thing. Kind of like it's deteriorating. I have some ideas on how we're gonna make that look, so, but it's gonna be cool. So we're gonna go ahead. We'll start off throwing that flesh down. I think it's supposed to be some sort of like disease or curse. Not precisely sure. Alright, so it's supposed to be a little bit more than that, huh? So it's a super thinned out magenta. like a magenta wash, if you will. We're going to kind of let that seep down into these cracks and crevices a little bit. And we'll come back and finish the rest of the flesh like as normal. Okay. Like I said, it's this weird... It's kind of hard to see and define. But it's like some sort of rash. So this is like some sort of a rash on it. You can't really see her legs per se. Just slightly. It's kind of, I don't know. It's very difficult to figure out exactly what that is. What's going on with her. So we're going to do our best. And this section here is kind of like a purple gray. And I think I have an idea on what we're going to do to make that. That might be a little too purple. Maybe needs just a touch of this umber. This is a burnt umber. We're just going to put a touch in there. Kind of brown it out just a little. Yeah. That's more like what we're looking for. Especially once we get the wash on here, it'll really look the part. You get good at making colors match. It takes a lot of practice. So definitely don't be afraid to make some mistakes, especially in the beginning part of doing these sort of things. It'll be okay, even if it's not quite the way you imagined it. It'll be just fine. And if you don't like it at all, you can always strip it. So you have that option. You'd be surprised what gets hidden in, like, oh, the washes and the extra things you do to finish up a piece. It can change rather rapidly what you're working on. There's ways to kind of like hide and mask different mistakes and things like that. So, but I definitely highly recommend working on learning how to mix your own colors. It definitely helps make things look a lot better. It's time to make a significant amount of this now that we've kind of figured out the color scheme. Maybe a little too much umber there. So we got a little bit more of these two guys. Before we add our white. And you could use a palette knife or whatever for this, instead of getting paint all the way up in the fold of your brush, as I am wont to do. And if you are getting it all mixed up in the fold like that, make sure you're cleaning it out pretty good. You don't want it to sit up in the fold. That's the little metal part on the back of the brush. For those of you who don't know that term yet. Definitely a good term to know. One more good fat round of white, we should be ready to go. Pretty gosh darn close right there. You can always kind of keep checking. You can see how far enough, if you're far enough up in there. take a short break. Let my hand rest for just a second. Now it looks like the chains around here are actually silver. Or is that the other ones? Those loop are definitely white. It looks like maybe the chains are just a metal color. Yeah, it looks like the chains are just metal. Okay. Might be adding a color to our palette here. Let me get this. Finish this purple up anyway. It would be good to do it metal too, because getting another, again, at that point we're working in another color, which is always good. They're definitely not silver, but they're definitely they're a gray metal. It's not the bronze that everything else is. Or a gold. It's like, it is definitely a gray metal. Okay. And this is a little bit darker. It's okay, so we're going to use this on the inside. Guess I didn't have to paint all that, but whatever. Definitely want to leave the pegs unpainted so we can glue the pegs in. It works better if you're gluing resin to resin instead of resin to paint or paint to paint. Purple, 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 purple. Kind of a dingy purple. That's alright. That's what these things, all these characters are kind of in this dingy palette. It's all old looking and kind of in disrepair. I believe it's the style they're going for. Probably not going to be needed to mix quite that much. But maybe we do. Touch more red, maybe. There we go. Like I said, Imagine Paints isn't easy, but once you kind of get used to it, get the feel for it, it's really nice to be able to do, because you can just make your own colors and match them. And you can match colors that you see. You can look at a color and say, okay, that's this color, and this color together to make this other color. And mixing on a palette is a lot easier if you've already got it one set done on it. So like we already did this color once, so I just kind of have to match it over here on the palette, and I know it's going to look pretty decent. Alrighty. Heck yeah. We're gonna have this bottom section done today. Well, at least most of it. Oh yeah, she's gonna look marvelous. That's gonna look great. Okay, so I need to do this bronze on this foot, and then we gotta pick a metal color for those. Touch up any strange places. There we go. And then we'll add we'll be ready for that next part. We'll glue them together in theory. Once we get, well, we gotta do the wash and stuff. back of her leg that nobody's ever going to see, but that's okay. We'll totally take pictures of it. Lots and 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 lots of bronze. This whole project, I think it was like gonna be that, because I think the next one or two has got a lot of bronze on it as well. Since all these figures are like royalty or something, it makes sense. These are like the great generals and the great royalty of this civilization. Keep on cruising. It's definitely one of those sections where we don't want to lose focus on what we're doing. It would be easy to miss a spot because you get kind of fed up looking at the same color. Don't want to do that. You want to make sure you keep on those colors. Stay focused. Super excited to see color on it though. That's awesome. And this one's assembly was pretty quick and easy. Very straightforward. Little grippers. Her little grippers. Tiny little toes. This piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. There's a little piggy crab roast beef. Oh, this piggy got roast beef, and this little piggy cried wee 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 all the way home. Alright. Looking really good. Just lightly coming over this diseased area or whatever that's supposed to be. Like I said, I think it's either a disease or a curse. I don't recall. I'd have to go back and watch one of the videos again. It definitely makes me feel like irritated and rashy is the way to go. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Okay. Now do a little bit of our dingy auto our grimy wash. I'll do with my brushes right here. Our grimy brush that we used to put the grimy on. I'm going to give this whole thing a once over, but I want to make sure I focus on that filigree. These little filigrees really need that extra, the little double dobs of extra goo-goo. This part's always kind of weird where it's like you painted it to trash it. I don't know that I'll ever get over it. But the effect is great. Alright, well that's set for just a little bit. We'll come back and do a little bit of cleaning it up. Same thing in here. I hit that filigree real good. See, that's why I'm out focusing. I went and missed a peak spot. Like I said, that little bit of black grime is going to help dull us down. It's going to make it look used and old, antiqued. There's lots of words you could use to describe it. Grimy. That's the word I like. It is definitely, it's my grime wash. It is for sure grimy. Alright, that one's done. Lid on that. Now, I'm going to take this and very gently smooth it out and maybe shine up some of the areas just a little. And we'll have to let that dry, and then tomorrow we'll be able to come back and throw a little bit more of like a dry wash on the top of it. Not dry, like a dry brush on top of it to help pull out any places where you feel like maybe you still got just a little too much of this.
Charmin reinvented the square for a smoother tear. Oh yeah, Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
That one's done. Alright. I got another little one over here we can use real quick. Just pulling off that excess. Alright, wonderful. Leave that guy alone. We'll go to this one. Second verse, same as the first. Kind of pulling all that excess down. Gotta get rid of it. I'll fly through these sponges on this particular one. We didn't do this quite as much on the Malekith because his was a lot darker. We wanted it to stay kind of black, so it didn't pull off quite as much. There we go. Alright, those are going to look fantastic. 52. Alright, we've got to let these dry a bit. You can already see how this is that's gonna look fantastic. Alright, this is gonna need a wash when you let it dry a little bit more. You put a gray metal. Do we do lead belcher or do we want to do ironware lead belcher? So we want it a little bit more silver than the dark. So we're going to do a little bit of lead belcher. We're going to add it to these. We got to figure out what color that's supposed to be. There's a little gray metal for these chains. It'll look good. Of course, now that I'm painting them, I'm seeing all the ones that have the damage on them that I didn't catch. But it's all right. I think this one was always going to have a little bit of... These chains are going to be a little bit off. There's just nothing you can do about it. Some of them look like they may be off because of the print or the sculpt, but I really don't think you're going to notice. There's so many of them, and it's such a small minor detail that by the time it's all said and done, put together, you'd only notice if you're really like face deep in it, staring down at something. And even then, you really have to kind of know what you were looking for. You have to kind of be like, okay, well, look at each individual link of each change, and you'll see the three of them that's kind of funky. Two of those being the ones I replaced, because some of these you just wouldn't notice. Your eye isn't going to catch them if you're not, painting each individual little link. For me, that's one of the hardest parts about these things, is that I'm such a perfectionist that I'm like, oh, that link's wrong. The whole thing's ruined. And it's not. I'm just being over dramatic. Okay. Do a few little touch-ups. Got a couple places we dipped off the line just a little. All right, there we go. Okay, I just got to set up and dry. We'll throw some wash on it, and then come back and finish off any kind of dry brushing we need. Golly, that's going to look great. Already looking fantastic. And that's going to go in there. It's easier to almost set that in first before I put the legs in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then we'll do that little bit of that yellow color on top of here, and it'll look fantastic. All right. Well, that's about all I've got for today, my lovely friends. I really appreciate everybody who stops by and watches my videos and says hello, or doesn't say hello, or gives us a like, or doesn't give us a like, or subscribes, or doesn't subscribe. I just appreciate that anybody finds what I do interesting. If you do feel like giving us any of those likes and subscribes and stuff like that, I'm double excited and very happy. I really do appreciate it. So anyway, we're going to be back tomorrow to do the next step of this fun little adventure, and hopefully we'll see you then. You guys have a great day. Bye.